At a certain point, we got to draw the line. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former NBA basketball player and future Hall of Famer Dwyane Wade finally achieving, I guess, his goal of changing his 15-year-old son's name from Zion to Zaya because his boy identifies as a girl. Now, the boy was born as a boy, biological XY male, now identifies as a girl, and has been identifying in that way since 12 years old. Now, there's a lot I want to say here. First, let's just show a picture of who we're talking about exactly. So as you can see on the far left, that's Dwyane Wade, future Hall of Fame basketball player, played alongside LeBron James. I think he won at least a ring or two in the NBA championship. On the right side, you have his wife, Hollywood actress Gabrielle Union, who many people think is the driving force behind all this. They think that she's like the one making all this stuff happen because she's in Hollywood and she's dragging the boy into Hollywood. And of course, in the center, that is Zaya Wade, formerly known as Zion Wade, a now 15-year-old biological boy who identifies as transgender. Now, there's an article we're going to get through a little bit, and if you want to read this in full, link will be in the description. If you're on IG, go to the link in the bio and to the corresponding article on the website. But you see the headline: NBA legend Dwyane Wade's transgender daughter, 15, has name legally changed after court battle, reports. Now, these terms are so confusing. Transgender daughter, like, what does that really mean? I mean, at the end of the day, you have a biological boy who identifies as a woman. I'm not sure what you call that. I don't really particularly care about the specific terms, but let's continue. Zaya Wade has identified as female since 12. Now, there was a 6-month court battle. I'm not sure why there was a court battle to change your name. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe they're trying to change the gender on the birth certificate as well, I suppose. I don't know, but there was a 6-month court battle. After that, Dwyane Wade's transgender quote-unquote daughter has been granted an official name change. Wade filed a petition in court in August to change his child's name. The 15-year-old was born a boy named Zion Malachi Aramis Wade. However, the child came out as trans in 2020 and wished to be called Zaya. So that's more of the pictures. And throughout the years that I've been covering this story, many of you guys may have found me on the episode of Jubilee where I spoke about this, not just this topic, but just a lot of different things. This is one of the topics we talked about. And the question was given to me like, hey, do you support the LGBT community? And I'm like, well, we got to really talk about what that means, because if saying, quote unquote, I support the LGBT community means that I support children becoming transgender, I don't support that. Now, if you got 2 adult males, 2 adult females, and they want to do whatever they want to do, or a single adult male, single adult female, they want to do whatever they want to do, then go ahead. I think the children, the minors, should be left out of it. Just like I said on Jubilee 3 years ago, you can't even get a tattoo under the age of 18. You can't smoke cigarettes, you can't drink beer, you can't join the military, but you could become transgender. You could be put on puberty blockers and hormone blockers at a children's hospital at 5 and 6 years old. You can identify as trans at that same age and get surgery, quote unquote, gender affirmation surgery. You got girls under 18 removing their breasts because they think at that age that they are a boy. They might just be a tomboy. They might be a masculine girl. Why allow children to go to such extremes? How about just let them experience childhood, and then when they get to be an adult, make a decision, but not permanent, life-changing, life-altering decisions at a very young age. But I'm getting triggered, so I digress. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is throughout the years I've been covering this story, I've seen Lil Zion or Zaya, whatever the specific name is. I've seen this child get taller and taller and taller. Maybe when this person was 12 years old, they felt kind of small, they felt kind of soft. What happens when this person is 21 years old, 6'5", size 18 shoe, And he's like, you know what? I kind of regret what I was thinking about when I was 12 years old. My voice is deeper. I got hair everywhere. I feel like 100% male. And I kind of regret what I did to myself back then. What happens then? Who's going to be in this person's corner when that realization may come about? This is crazy. And you know what? One more thing I got to say before I keep on with the article. Parents got to be able to be parents, okay? Matter of fact, let me come back so you can see me clearly. Parents got to be able to be parents. Just because a child says they want to do a particular thing does not mean they should be granted that ability. Just maybe you set some rules and parameters and guidelines in the house. It's like, all right, son, daughter, whatever, you're going to do X, Y, and Z while you're in this house. Nothing about no homophobic, transphobic, it's nothing to do with none of that. Somebody on the outside might want to label it like that, but that's not what it is. We just have certain rules in this house. All right. You're not going to wear certain things. You're not going to behave a certain way while you're in this house. Now, once you get to be an adult, you go outside, make your own money. You do what you want to do, but not while you're here. But too many children are running their parents nowadays. And this is why so many kids are lost, because they're raising themselves and they don't have the tools inherently to do so. Because if they did, they wouldn't need to be raised at all. They could be raised with wolves and be the exact same as any other child out there in the world. But as I said, I'm getting triggered, so I'm going to go ahead and digress. Let me get back to the article here, because there's an important point to make, because I mentioned Gabrielle Union, right? Gabrielle Union, if you don't know, is not the child's mother. Gabrielle Union has a child with Dwyane Wade, but the child's like a baby, like a toddler, 3-4 years old, an actual biological girl. This child is from Dwyane Wade's previous, I think, relationship or marriage with Dwyane Wade. Now, let's go back up here. Wade's ex-wife, Dwyane Funches Wade, had prevented Zaya from receiving an updated birth certificate. So that was the battle, because the boy's mom said, you're not going to do this to my boy. You see, that was the battle. But of course, Dwyane Wade being a multimillionaire, Gabrielle Union not being a slouch herself, they got plenty of money to go to court and defeat her in court. That's what happened, in my humble opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but if you know differently, let me know in the comments. So, and you see what it says right here. The NBA legend said it was in his daughter's best interest, meaning in his biological son's best interest. Quote, this petition is about empowering Zaya to live, quote unquote, her truth. A November court document said regarding Zaya, who has identified as a female since 12, a court order affirming this person's identity will allow Zaya to live more comfortably and honestly in all aspects of life, from simple introductions and food orders to applying for a driver's license, filling out college applications. Now, what I want to know is, when you got to show certain documents to prove your identity, like birth certificate, things of that nature, is it still going to say male on there? Is that what it's going to say? Or are we just going to change that too? Okay, like, what are we talking about? You have chromosomes that identify your gender, XX or XY. It's simple. So are we going to change that as well? Like, if your birth certificate says XY on it, are they going to change that to XX? How can that be so when that's not biologically correct? What are we even doing? I'm not really sure, but let's read the rest of this particular piece here. Funches Wade, that's the ex-wife, Dwyane Wade, argued that her ex-husband is trying to profit off of Zaya's transition, and he, quote, maybe pressuring Zaya over potential financial opportunities. Allegations a former NBA star called nonsensical and libelous at their core, which is that's a lawyer statement. People don't speak that way. Okay. So yeah, they were married in 2007 and divorced in 2010. But I think between him and his ex, I think they got 3 kids together, 2 or 3 kids together at least. Yeah. So that's it. There's more here. There's more reasoning why Dwyane Wade is saying it's okay for his boy to now become a girl. It's really kind of ridiculous in my humble opinion. But as I close, I want to say this. If any adults out there identify as LGBT or whatever, that's your business. I don't really particularly care. But I think as a society, there should be an imperative on us to protect the weakest of us, meaning the children. Leave the kids out of it. Give the kids a healthy home to be able to grow, to be able to explore and figure out who they are, without all this adult stuff being thrown in the mix, without all this confusing things being thrown in the mix. without all these ridiculous court battles being thrown in the mix. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here with Dwyane Wade's offspring? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is ridiculous. 15 years old. I mean, come on, 12 years old. Minors, leave the minors alone. You wouldn't be an adult and do this. Okay, go ahead, knock yourself out. But not until that particular time. I think what's happening could be some financial stuff, because obviously if you have a kid like this, they're going to be highly attractive to certain brands. It's almost like the reverse, or not the reverse, but the other side of a stage parent or a soccer mom or a basketball dad. Like, I'm not gonna name anybody's name in this particular case, but you got parents that want to push their kids to be in the sports real heavy because they know they could be successful and potentially gain money for themselves later, and for the child, of course, but for themselves later as well. But this could be a similar thing. It's like, hey, you could be a good trans spokesperson. You could be out there doing commercials and whatnot. We're going to foster this because it could pay off down the line. I have no idea if that's true or false. I'm just thinking some thoughts out loud. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.